Hey everybody, what's up? Hey, it's James back here on the internet on a Sunday. Got a little inspired by Sherv, Julius Jabbar, his Gimme 10 of the lovely Steeplechase label. And yeah, I thought it'd be fun to do as usual. Julius, he's a hard act to follow. He's probably one of the more eloquent and entertaining voices on the internet. So let's see what I could do here. He's a hard act to follow. It's kind of like I don't know, following up Motorhead or something. Like, how can you match that, right? But let me give it a shot. We got 10 Steeplechase records here to show. But yeah, I'll get right into it. No long rambling preamble, hopefully. The first one I'm going to show is probably one of my favorite Steeplechase records, and it's the Kenny Dorham Quintet Skanda Skies is this one. 1963 at Montmartre. Interesting lineup. There's two trumpet players and piano bass drums, and the other trumpet player is Rolf Eriksson, who plays trumpet and flugelhorn. This one is a very like earthy feel to it. That's the way I think about it. Just very, very kind of beautiful and like a nice undercurrent of just gentleness. Really nice record. And the standout track here is actually a cover of Solar, the Miles track. And yeah, long tracks here, 11 minutes, 13 minutes, 8 minutes. Great one. Kenny Dorham, Skanda Skies on, yeah, Steeplechase. There's that one. Next one, and actually, before I get into it deeper, like I was thinking about it after Sherv's video, Steeplechase is I don't know, maybe it's cliche to say it's underrated. I wouldn't say it's underrated, but it's like my wife and I have this thing where we talk about certain household products or groceries or brands, like it's like a name you can trust, whatever it is, peanut butter, cookies, things like that. Steeplechase is like a name you could trust. Like anytime you see Steeplechase record, like you know what you're gonna get. It's always solid. Yeah. And then there used to be a time, at least especially in the Bay Area, where you could just go to any store and there's always Steeplechase records. I mean, you can always grab a couple, and they used to be, like $7.99, $8.99, something like that. So Steeplechase is awesome. The next one is Michael Carvin, and this is called the Camel. Very different kind of artwork for a Steeplechase record. It's not the average kind of cover of their the normal that they had. Great lineup on this one. This is recorded in 1975, and it's almost like a spiritual jazz kind of lineup. You have Sonny Fortune, Cecil Bridgewater, Ron Burton, and Calvin Hill. Look at these guys on the back. And I know Sherv touched on this. Most Steeplechase records were kind of like just sort of straight ahead. Not too many were kind of pushing the limits of avant or anything like that. But this one has some moments where it's getting a little bit more advanced. Really, really nice record. And look at these cats here. Look at Cecil Bridgewater. Look at that one. Really nice one. And then you know what? The other thing too I was going to say is a lot of these Steeplechase I have, even though I used to see a lot of them all the time, a lot of the ones I have, the only time I've seen them is when I got them for whatever reason. That's the way it worked out. But yeah, Michael Carvin, the Camel, that's a really good one. Okay, next one is Doug Rainey, Jimmy's son, introducing Doug Rainey. Nice, straight ahead jazz record or guitar based, in the Wes Montgomery kind of style. This was recorded 1977. And you have Duke Jordan, Hugo Rasmussen, and Billy Hart, the wonderful Billy Hart, who played on a million steeplechase sessions. Doug Rainey, introducing Doug Rainey. Look at that one. I think he was in his 26, 27 when he recorded that one. Yeah, Doug Rainey. Look at that. Next one, Idris Solomon on steeplechase. This guy, he started way back. I mean, I know he played on like some of the early Thelonious Monk stuff. I think he was on the first like Thelonious Monk on Blue Note. But classic lineup. I mean, look at the rhythm section. Cedar Walton, Sam Jones, Billy Higgins. I mean, that's like the murderer's row. I mean, you can't get much better than that. This is February 16th and 17th, 1976. Doing a lot of originals actually on this. He's not just doing standards. Really, really nice one, Idris Solomon. And he didn't do a lot as a leader. I think he had a few others on steeplechase. Just a nice record on a Sunday. You know, steeplechase it's like almost a perfect label for a Sunday afternoon. Look at that one. And actually, this one is called "Now Is the Time" on steeplechase. No shit. All right. Next one, and this is a really, really interesting section. Ken McIntyre Trio, "Chasing the Sun." McIntyre plays a number of different reed instruments on here: flute, oboe, alto, bassoon. I think it doesn't list it, but you can hear it. Advanced, you know, in terms of a steeplechase kind of record, just because that trio lineup and it's pushing kind of the limits of things. What's really fascinating about this one is Ken McIntyre wrote the notes for this, and I don't know any other steeplechase where the artist wrote the notes, and it's almost like it's not almost, it is almost an essay. It's a very social, political commentary about black musicians in the United States. Very eloquent, raw, but extremely intelligent analysis of just the way things are in society. And then, of course, it has the classic Rick Ballard sticker. It wouldn't be a steeplechase label or record without the Rick Ballard sticker, right? If you ever get to go to Rick Ballard's shop it's in Berkeley, but it's technically Oakland, but it's kind of right on the border. Anyway, this is an amazing record. The rest of the lineup is Hakeem Jami on bass and Beaver Harris on drums. There's a song called "I Close My Eyes" where he plays the flute, where McIntyre plays the flute, and it's like this long kind of modal type of feel, this long flowing evocative track with just flute. Really a standout track and a great record. And like I said, this is the only time I've seen this one, like some of these others, rambling about it. But yeah, this is a killer record. Find this one. Different, very different than a lot of other steeplechase records. Ken McIntyre, "Chasing the Sun" is that one. Next one, Lewis Smith Quintet, called "Prancin'." Lewis Smith, I know he did some Blue Note stuff like in the 50s as a leader, and I think he played with Horace Silver for a bit. This was recorded 1979. The lineup is, you have Junior Cook, interesting addition to a steeplechase record. Roland Hanna, Sam Jones, Billy Hart. There he goes. He's solid. Nothing fancy, just some nice straight ahead work here. But Lewis Smith, he plays trumpet and flugelhorn, has a nice kind of bright tone to it. But yeah, Lewis Smith, "Prancin'." Again, these are all cheap. At least when I got them. I don't know what steeplechase records go for these days, because could talk for a long time about. As I would say, that's a conversation for a scotch, because the way that the prices are ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this Lewis Smith record is $40 now when it probably should be $7. Anyway, talk about that another time. The next one is this Archie Shepp, Lars Gulland Quintet, "The House I Live In." And there's the back of Lars and Archie on the front. This one was recorded in 1963 and released in 80 based on the notes here at Montmartre, November 21st, 1963. What's interesting about this is well, according to the notes, the way this gig happened is Archie Shepp was in Europe with the New York Quintet that he was playing with, and I don't know exactly how it happened, but that's why he was in Europe, and who knows what the mythology is around how he ended up in this session. But just some nice standards. You Stepped Out of a Dream, I Should Care, The House I Live In, Sweet Georgia Brown, just some blowing, just smoking, just toe-tapping stuff here. Just really, really good. Swinging, that's what it is. This thing just swings like a mother. Really, really good. And, I know that Archie was already, pushing and advancing with this music, but like the following year he did 4 for Train. So, I mean, you talk about versatility. I mean, he's going from like, traditional, straight ahead to advanced, one thing and the other. Nice one, The House I Live In. Is that what that's called? Yeah, The House I Live In. And the lineup here is Teddy Montulio, Niels Henning, Orsted Peterson, and Alex Reel. Alex Reel's on all these sessions, or a lot of them, as a drummer. A few more to go. I know Sherv mentioned this one. The one he didn't have is the Jackie McLean tune-up with the blue cover. Live at the Left Bank, again, Sherv had the other one. Lamont Johnson, Scotty Holt, Billy Higgins, 1966. So Jackie's, in his prime on this, but obviously he never was not in his prime. But 66, man, that's pure Jackie. That's I don't know what to say about that. What else do you say about Jackie? But yeah, Jackie McLean tune-up on a Steeplechase. Few more to go here. Dexter Gordon, Something Different, and this is definitely something different. Apt title. This was recorded 1975, and I don't think it looks like it didn't get released until 80. But what makes this very special, something different? Dexter, you know what you're gonna get, right? He just brings it. He brings the fire on this one. He's just his intensity is there, and just the passion is coming through. But what makes this one really special is Philip Catherine on guitar. I don't know of any other sessions where Dexter was with a guitar player, and I'm sure there probably was that I don't know about. So it adds a special touch. Philip Catherine, he very I've never heard him playing in this is like pure jazz based traditional style. I know he did some albums like that, like later on in his career after the 70s, probably in the 80s, more like straight ahead kinds of things. I used to have some of these CDs. What makes this album really special, on top of him being the specialist, the guitar player, is there's a track on here called Invitation. It's a very bossa nova inspired type of track, but Philip Catherine plays acoustic on it. And according to the notes, Philip Catherine says that's his favorite solo that he ever did, at least at this time, up to that time. And he even does a little like fusion-y kinds of things on some of these tracks too. So, which is with that combination of like I said, what you're gonna get with Dexter, and then Philip Catherine with his guitar playing, very inventive on some of these tracks, and then very straight ahead on others. But like I said, that Invitation, the bossa nova, not that big of a bossa nova person, but that track is just beautiful. It kind of flows. It has this kind of evocative, majestic, mysterious feel to it. It's worth it for the price alone. And all these Steeplechase records are good. You know what you're gonna get. I'm repeating myself on this, but yeah, man, that's this was recorded September 13th, 1975, and the rest of the lineup is Niels Henning on drums, Billy Higgins. It's either gonna be Billy Higgins or Billy Hart on a lot of these, right? Look at these cats on the back there. Yeah, just a beautiful beautiful record. And then the final one on the Gimme 10 is Monette Sudler, Time for a Change. Quartet, Quintet is what that said, because on some of these tracks there's extra percussion. This was recorded in '77. It has a very like George Benson-ish, like of the time, the way her guitar style is. Really, really good. She sings on a track too, and it makes me wonder what of her other stuff, what else she might have sung. It seems like she has a very beautiful voice, and it seems like she could have done a whole album with her singing as well. But yeah, Monette Sudler, 1977. This is an inner city one. I know that some of these are inner city, some of these are steeplechase, but it's all the same. It's all the same thing. Yeah, look at there in the back, Monette Sudler, and let's see what here. The lineup is Oliver Collins on piano, Gerald Benson on bass, Newman Baker, and then William Duke Wilson on conga, bongos, and percussion. Recorded in 1976, released in '77. So yeah, I just want to do a quick one here on a Sunday. Steeplechase Records. They're great. I mean, there used to be a time where, again, they were just available, and there was definitely a number of times where I thought, you know, I'd wake up and I'm like, yeah, I feel like going to getting a few Steeplechase records, and I'd say, because I know they would be there, right? I don't know if that's still the case. I don't have access to a lot of these stores anymore, but it's just a beautiful thing. And yeah, keep on rambling, but I'll let you guys go. Thanks for stopping by on a Sunday, and go get some Steeplechase records. All right, take it easy. Later.